Quick disclaimer, Learn from Mac is an independent educational project. We are not affiliated with, endorsed by, or sponsored by Apple, or any vendor or product covered in this course. Hey, welcome back to Learn from Mac. I'm Dennis, and today is day 20 of the F5 LTM R4600 Bootcamp. Yesterday we paired the HA pair. Today we actually test it, manual failover, a simulated real network failure, and connection mirroring under live load. Let's get into it. First, the goal. By the end of this lesson, you'll confidently execute and verify a full failover cycle: manual takeover, config, sync, validation, network-triggered automatic failover, and connection mirroring, so this pair behaves predictably during a real maintenance window. Here's what you need. Yesterday's active standby pair already built, a traffic group with a floating self-IP assigned, at least one virtual server with active test traffic, so you can actually observe behavior during failover, and TMSH access on both units. 3 concepts before we start breaking things on purpose. Concept 1, config sync itself. This pushes the active unit's configuration to standby within the device cluster. BIG-IP does not auto-sync by default. A sync must be triggered after every change you want to survive a failover. Status shows as in sync, changes pending, or sync failed. Concept 2, traffic groups and the floating IP. The traffic group is the logical container for everything that moves together during failover: VSIPs, floating self-IPs, SNATs. Whichever unit is active for that group owns the IP and answers ARP for it, and sends a gratuitous ARP on failover to force switches to update immediately. Concept 3, automatic failover triggers, BIG-IP monitors. Active unit health through parallel mechanisms, network heartbeats across the HA VLAN, and VLAN failsafe, which fires if no traffic is seen on a monitored VLAN for a configured timeout. This is what catches an upstream failure even when the BIG-IP itself is still technically running. All right, 3 labs. First, a full manual failover cycle, verified with a real ARPing to confirm the Mac actually moved. Then a simulated real failure, disabling the HA interface itself and watching automatic failover fire and log the event. Then connection mirroring, proving a live persistent connection, survives a forced failover with 0 reset. Let's get into it. Lab 1, check current HA and sync state before touching anything. Force a manual failover, graceful release to standby. Confirm the floating IP actually moved to the new active unit. Improve it at the network layer. A real ARPing should show BIGIP Mac now. Lab 2, enable VLAN failsafe. Failover fires if the external VLAN goes quiet for 90 seconds. Now simulate a real failure. Disable the HA heartbeat interface itself, lab window only. On the peer, watch it detect the missing heartbeats and take over. Confirm it in the log, then restore the interface and let BIGIP rejoin cleanly. Lab 3, enable connection mirroring on a long-lived virtual server. A database proxy is a good candidate. Open a long-lived connection through it from a real client. Confirm it's mirrored to the standby unit. You have same 4 tuple showing up on both sides. Now force failover while that connection is live. Back on the client, the SSH session is still alive. No reset, that's mirroring working. And that's a failover pair actually tested, not just configured and hoped about. There are self-check questions on the lesson page worth sitting with. Connection mirroring, especially since knowing which virtual servers actually need it versus which can just let clients retry, is a real design decision. Take a minute with those. Quick recap before we go. Config sync is not automatic. Trigger it after every change and check status before you ever trust it. A gratuitous ARP is what actually redirects traffic to the new active unit. Verify it landed with a real ARPing, not just a status field. VLAN failsafe catches upstream failures the BIG-IP itself can't see on its own. An active unit can be perfectly healthy while still failing over correctly, and mirroring costs real overhead. Enable it only on long-lived, high-value connections, and disable it on VSs where clients retry naturally. All right, that's day 20 in the books. Manual failover, a simulated real failure, and connection mirroring, all tested live, all verified. That's a failover you actually have now, not one you've only configured. If this was useful, hit subscribe. You won't miss a single lesson. Next up is day 21, week 3 review, full hay pair. See you there.